So what makes an entrepreneur? Is there like some sort of it factor, some sort of like the one definitive thing, like there's a recipe and you know, if you have quality A and B and C, you are guaranteed to become an entrepreneur. But don't worry if you don't have quality A, B, and C, because we've got a 5-week course that can get you set up so that by the end of this course, you're gonna have qualities A, B, and C, and you're gonna be a great, successful entrepreneur. I don't buy into that. I think that there are so many different variables that go into entrepreneurship. It just is mind-blowing. But there are some things that need to be considered. So in this video, I'm gonna be going through what I think entrepreneurs aren't. And then at the end of the video, I'm gonna dive into exactly what I think an entrepreneur is. So it says here in Google that an entrepreneur is a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. Yeah, okay, sure, I buy into that a little bit, but that's kind of like saying that a car is this vehicle that has 4 doors and a windshield and maybe 4 tires that can get you from point A to point B. Yeah, but isn't there a little bit more to that? Like, don't we have to get a little more creative? Do me a favor, in the comment section below, what do you think makes an entrepreneur? When I think of entrepreneurship, some of the people that I think of like are Gordon Gekko from Wall Street.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works.
Greed is good. Or how about Jordan Belfort from Wolf of Wall Street?
Share. And by the way, John, our analysts indicate it could go a heck of a lot higher than that. Your profit on a mere $6,000 investment would be upwards of $60,000.
You watch these and you think that entrepreneurs are these big, powerful people, and that, you know, they're charismatic and they're creative and they got a drive and they're just digging and making sure that their business goes through. But that's not necessarily all that an entrepreneur is. In fact, there are so many people out there that start businesses that are introverts, that are just laid back, they're fun-loving, that just want to have this fun business idea and just want to run with it, or creative, or bought into a business. Like, there's so much that goes into this entrepreneurial idea, and so many people buy into this whole charismatic Gordon Gekko, Jordan Belfort, you know, businessman idea, that I think so many people miss out on an opportunity to build into entrepreneurship. So what's next? How do we go ahead and define entrepreneurship? I hate to tell you, but I honestly don't believe that you can actually find one definitive answer for that question. You can go online and take all those quizzes, you know, the 5 questions, 10 questions, 20 questions to determine what type of entrepreneur you are. But the fact of the matter is, it is really hard to quantify exactly what goes into entrepreneurship. You'll see some people that just take off and are amazing entrepreneurs because, you know, they're charismatic and they're the Gordon Gekkos and Jordan Belforts. But also then you see other ones that are just come on the scene and quietly go through what needs to be done and build up a great business. So what are some things that are required for entrepreneurship? Well, here's a few of them. You gotta have a business idea. That's number 1. Number 2, you have to have some sort of target market. So that's a gimme as well. Number 3, you've got to have some sort of business plan. Number 4, you've got to have some sort of cash flow projection. Number 5, you got to have an income statement. Number 6, you've got to have a balance sheet. Number 7, it goes on and on with all these little steps that you got to take. And all those things are very, very important, but they're still missing something. There's one thing that you've got to figure out. In the history of all time, there has never been a you. And as cheesy as that sounds, it's true. So what you need to do is you need to figure out what makes you you, and you need to figure out what is your why. So by now I hope you understand that there's not just a bunch of qualities that, you know, A quality, B quality, C quality that makes entrepreneurs. For as many different people as there are out there that want to start a business, that's how many different qualities there's going to be. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. One thing I would worry about though is figuring out why you're into this. If you've heard of Simon Sinek, you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna put a link in the description below of his TED Talk. It is absolutely mind-blowing, called Start With The Why. I'm not gonna do it justice with my little brief 2-minute explanation here, but you need to watch that. Also, I'm gonna put a link in the description too to his book, Start With The Why. It was absolutely transformational in regards to my teaching practices and my entrepreneurship practices. As I mentioned before, there are so many different business ideas out there. Yours is not original, but you are original. There's never been a you before. And you, especially with this business idea, is going to take it to the next level. In fact, if there are lots of business ideas out there like yours, that is a good thing. That means that the market wants what you're selling. You just have to let the market know what makes you different than everybody else. So what Simon Sinek does is he talks about how there's this golden circle. And he talks about there's these 3 rings to the circle. There's the what, the how, and the why. Every business, basically, he says, can go ahead and tell you what they do. I'm an electrician. I'm a computer programmer. I sell this or doohickeys. Everybody knows what they do, and some might even be able to tell you how they do it. We show up on time, very professional. We sell this quality of equipment. What he says that a lot of businesses don't know is the why, and that kind of gets into the inside, like, why do you do what you do? And everything comes from that. Now, as an example, he uses is Apple. Apple has figured out that they are all about upsetting the status quo. Their overarching culture is what differentiates them from, say, Dell or from Windows or Microsoft or anything like that. So they've discovered and tapped into what their why is. And if you can figure out what your why is, it's your superpower, because people who resonate with your why will buy from you. And again, I'm not doing it justice, so make sure you watch his video. But he talks about how most businesses start with the what, go to the how, and never figure out the why. And he says what we need to do is figure out our why, then we can go to the what, and then we can go to the how. It is so important to have things figured out, like your business idea, your target market, get your cash flow projections, your balance sheet, your income statement. All that stuff is very important. But unless you have a why, you basically got a business that everybody else has. But once you figure out what that why is, you put your business on steroids and you've got what's called a unique selling proposition. For me, my why is teaching. I love to teach. I love to take complex issues and just make them very, very simple. And so that goes through. It doesn't matter if I'm teaching electrical, if I'm teaching business, if I'm making a YouTube video. My why is teaching with a passion. And I would love to hear what your whys are, or if you agree with this. Do you agree that everybody has a why? Maybe make a comment down in the description below and we'll go from there. We'll have a great discussion down there. If you've gotten any value from this video, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and as I like to always say, stay classy, and we'll see you on the next one.